It's extremely important for everyone to understand at a very, very deep level what is actually happening here. Now, again, this is just my opinion. What I'm encouraging you to do is do a deep research and try to understand at a deep level what is actually happening. So with Israel being invaded, it's exactly 50 years. 1973 was the last year they were invaded, which is the 50-year Jubilee. This is so biblical and so lined up, it's unbelievable. Biblically, we're also 1 year after the Shemitah. Do your research. September 2022, the Shemitah ended. We're 1 year after the Shemitah. We're in the 50-year Jubilee. And at almost the exact date, the 50-year Jubilee, Israel got invaded. Guys, this is a much, much bigger picture. Religious people will call it a biblical prophecy. Financial people will call it a great opportunity to reset. But I'll tell you what, there is something happening right now. And this will be written in history books. So let's look at the facts, figures, numbers, logic. At the end of this video, I'll share with you exactly what I'm doing. I don't know if it'll work for you, but it'll work for me. So number one, 50 years after Israel was invaded, they're invaded once again. And study from 1971 to about 1974, what happened? We're 1 year after the Shemitah. We have an overvalued stock market. Our bond market in America is effed. It is on the verge of implosion. And if the bond market implodes, it'll be a catalyst and a ripple effect in the economy. There is no real money in the system. Every single dollar is someone else's debt. Companies are starting to file bankruptcy on the S&P, which is your 401ks are attached to. So if there's no real money in the system and everything is debt, and Americans right now in October at the highest amount of consumer credit maxed out right now, and the stimulus is dried up and the interest rates are through the roof and it's very expensive to borrow money and everything is debt, then you better expect a shockwave and a catalyst through the financial system. But isn't it interesting, every time there's a really, really bad financial system, like 1971, we detached from the gold standard because America didn't have the money to back the gold or the gold to back the money. So they detached us from the gold standard. And ironically, now they're flipping it backwards. Now Basel III is moving the banks back towards a gold tier 1 asset, making sure they have gold to back their assets or riskier assets. Guys, everything is inverted in the world. Everything is backward and everything follows cycles. Now, the reason why I have zero fear of this is because I understand how these cycles work. I study history at a very deep level, Ray Dalio, the Bible, history, all the things like the Roman days. And isn't it ironic there's that trend going around that people are saying, do you think about the Romans or the Roman days? It's not by chance, guys. Welcome to the modern day Rome. Welcome to the fall of a great superpower. So here's what I think is going to happen, is we're going to war. And this war is financial, just like all of them. It's biblical prophecy. But the God that I know wants us to expand consciousness and not to repeat it. So I stopped repeating consciousness. I broke out of the cycles. In the last 4 years, I've radically transformed my life. I stopped doing my finances like the 99%. I started making my money current. I use a speculative asset like cryptocurrency to make a large amount of wealth from 2021 to 2022. By having an exit plan, did the opposite of everybody else. We're about to do it again in 2024 to 2025 when everybody's coming in trying to get rich quick. Once I exit the markets, I use things like Index Universal Life, tax code 7702 to secure, compound, and grow my wealth and retire tax-free. I use businesses to beat inflation and constantly grow using innovation, technology, and attention, which my businesses that I've created. I use precious metals. I'm in silver. I'm going to be getting into gold for store of value here soon. And we're heading into real estate as we go into next year because we believe everything's going vertical like apartment complexes and multifamily, and we need depreciation. And the number one thing that makes me the richest man in the world, if you made it this far, is my relationship with God. Because all the physical can be taken away and I'm the richest man in the world. Because I don't go to a building, not that you can't. I don't do vain repetition or have to memorize the Bible. I built a relationship with God, and the deeper I get into my relationship with God, the more I understand the Bible and the more I understand Jesus' teachings. If you want to go a little bit deeper, I just want to give you some insight and want to give you some food for thought. Just my opinion, not trying to change your belief system, just want to share something with you. It's from birth, when we knew that Jesus was coming as a risen king from the North Star, the wise men found him. And from birth all the way to 14, he was spitting fire in the synagogues. Why didn't they kill him then? If he was able to spit Bible verses, he was spinning their heads with his knowledge. Why didn't they kill him then? Then he was gone for 18 years. Christians and the churches call it the lost years of Jesus. But how many of you have dove in to the lost years of Jesus? Because whatever he learned those 18 years, when he came back for 1 year, the knowledge he gained in those 18, they killed him. So wouldn't you be curious what he learned those 18 years? Wouldn't you be curious why they didn't kill him from 0 to 14 when he knew the Bible and he could spit vain repetition and he was in the synagogues. But as soon as he removed himself from the church and he was with the people, and the 12 disciples that were with him were thugs, were gangsters, were broken just like me and you, he picked the most unlikely characters and started to change them radically through vibrational frequency, through heaving up. And they knew that if people started to understand what he was teaching, we wouldn't need all this war. We wouldn't need all this infrastructure. We'd be cooperating. We'd be oneness with Source. But that's not how the game is played. Make the path to the light difficult so the weak and weary will not follow. So if what all these preachers are preaching in their churches is working, then why are their congregations struggling and they're thriving? Just my opinion. Jesus said sit in the back of the church till he invited to the front. He decided to go walk around the villages. Church was when 2 or more are gathered. So you got a bunch of high frequency people together that were broken, that believed in themselves. He said, shh, don't tell them. Because he knew it was going to come quick when they figured out what he was teaching. So I don't know, just things that I think about on a daily basis. Seek and you'll find, find and you'll be dismayed. Once you're dismayed, you'll be astonished. Once you're astonished, you'll realize that you're a king. So I love you guys. It's the greatest time in human history to transform your family's life, become the richest man or woman in the world. Just do the opposite of the 99%. You're going to be okay. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. Love you guys. Remember, I will never proactively DM you. That's not me in your comments. That is not me. Those are scammers. I have 2 free resources for you. Number 1 is an ebook. It's a 16-page book. Put your email in, be in your inbox, in my bio here. My exact blueprint. Number 2 is separate from the ebook. Say that's an insurance consultation with my insurance team. If you're worried about your retirement, or you want to learn about Tier 1 Capital, which is insurance, securing, compounding, and growing, or you maybe have an old 401k, you just want to have a healthy conversation about retirement and figure out how we do it. It's called Index Universal Life, Infinity Banking Concept. But there's many other options where you can secure, compound, and guarantee your principal. So it's a free conversation with my team. Be careful of scammers. Don't send anybody money on WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram. We will never ask you about your investments. We will never proactively reach out to you. That is not us. I love you guys. Everything is in the resources in the bio, in my bio here, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you watch us. Love you.